Onimusha is a game series that I hold near and dear to my heart. And guess what? After 20 years of a hiatus, it's finally coming back with a strong presence. Next year, a new title in the series comes out, titled Onimusha Way of the Sword. And this year, dude, we're finally getting a remaster of the second game in the series, Samurai's Destiny, which will be dropping on all major platforms. So, what is Onimusha? Well, for the uninitiated, in the year 2001 of our Lord, Capcom released Onimusha Warlords on the PlayStation 2, and it was a hit. To think, this game that was born from an idea which blended a feudal Japanese setting with a familiar Resident Evil-ish gameplay and atmospheric horror. Audiences in both the East and West, though mainly in Japan, fell in love with the game, and Capcom greenlit a sequel not too soon after. Though we would eventually get 4 games in the series, to me, Onimusha 2 was a very special game. I fell in love with it when I first played the game in 2002, and that's why I want to take this moment to thank Capcom for giving me the opportunity to play this game beforehand and provide you guys with this video. So let's get right into it and preview Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remastered. Now, since this is a preview, I can only talk about events up to a certain point in the story. So this will essentially be my quick and easy thoughts, and I'll be working on a full review later on, so you should subscribe if you want to see that. The setup is quite simple. You play as Jubei Yagyu, a legendary swordsman whose village has been torn apart by Nobunaga Oda's forces. Oda is the big bad of the Onimusha games, and in this title, the main character has a more connected reason to go after Nobunaga. I mean, his village was literally burned down, what else do you expect? Almost as soon as Jubei begins his journey for revenge, he meets Takajo, some demon lady, in a cave near his village. She bestows a power that allows the player to absorb a variety of souls, which are used to either enhance Jubei's weapons and equipment, which is new to this game, and replenish his health or magic, just like in the first Onimusha game. The opening cinematic, by the way, is beautiful, and in it, we meet the main players of the story. These characters can become either allies or even foes at certain points in the story, depending on a few key factors and decisions. More on that later. The first 3 hours of the game are somewhat light on story and are mainly used to introduce these characters to you, the player. This isn't a bad thing in my opinion, as they're all really interesting and will aid you in certain segments of the game, a series first by the way. The first Onimusha game laid a strong foundation for what the series could look like moving forward. It helped that the series emphasized combat, making it stand out from its Resident Evil counterpart. So, the combat in Samurai's Destiny is more improved when comparing it to the first game, with more actions for your player characters. Actions like charge attacks, you've got inputs that can release special attacks, and an Oni form that you can unleash when you collect 5 purple Oni orbs from fallen enemies. This form is pretty overpowered and really cool, but it's only available for a short duration. Issin attacks are also back. These are critical counter hits that you can land if you time your attack as soon as you're about to get hit from an enemy, or if you block an attack as soon as you're about to get hit and then you hit another button. They feel as good to pull off as they sound. All in all, combat is real fun. It's a bit tactical since you kind of got to play around the pre-rendered backgrounds. And yeah, did I mention that it's fun? The biggest difference in the sequel, however, involves the mining town of Imasho, which is your central hub. After you go through certain story portions, you typically go back to Imasho, where you can then socialize, to an extent, with the other main characters by trading items. Now, throughout the game, you're going to find or buy these specific key items around the world. You can then gift these to your new friends, and they'll trade specific items depending on what you gift them. This will also affect a hidden affection meter that will most definitely influence the story depending on who you decide to flower with gifts. This aspect of the game not only adds a ton of replay value, but it also gives the game a more RPG feel, way more than the previous title, which I personally really enjoyed. One negative that I do want to point out though is like the other Onimusha remaster and other games that were remastered from pre-rendered backgrounds, the modern controls are kind of weird. They just really don't work well with pre-rendered backgrounds. Every motion that you do with the character looks out of place, it comes out really fast, and it takes some getting used to. However, it does kind of feel better in combat, so I don't know which mode to use. I guess I'll mention what I do end up using in the full review. Now let's talk presentation. The remastered graphics are really nice, especially the character models, and the pre-rendered backgrounds actually look really pretty. But I do wonder, how do they hold up to the original? I gotta take a look at that. The music is also really good, especially the main theme for the game. But the English voice acting, it's something. It sounds really, really campy, and I'm not truly sure if it's intentional or what, but it does feel like it's very much a product of its time. I personally would recommend using the Japanese dub as it feels more authentic, just due to the time period that the game takes place in. So, all in all, these first 3 hours flew by. It felt like I had picked up right when I last played the game over 20 years ago. That, in and of itself, is a testament to Capcom's efforts here. The game is still very much Onimusha 2, and the fact that the original director is back to work on the remaster, that fills me with a lot of confidence. So, as a longtime Onimusha fan, this is an easy recommendation, but for new players, I highly recommend the Onimusha Warlords and Samurai's Destiny bundle that contains both the first game and second game. The first game is really short, but honestly it's very sweet, and the second game is just as excellent in my opinion, well worth the asking price. And that's it for the preview. I will have a more in-depth video on the game and what it means to me in the future, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let me know if you're interested, and if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Subscribe for more content. I definitely plan to cover Onimusha in the future, so I hope to see you guys in the next one.